everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Tom Butwin, and if you look closely, you will notice I am not in my home studio. I'm in another space that is probably very familiar to you. Yeah, I'm actually at PRS Guitars. I'm here at their headquarters. I came to the guitar as opposed to having the guitar come to me. And the guitar we're talking about today is their brand new NF53. But what we're not gonna do today is talk about how this compares to the guitar that obviously inspired it, one of Paul's own guitars, from what I understand. We're gonna talk about this thing just in and of itself. Pick it up off the wall, close your eyes, and just don't worry about what you think it might be trying to be. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I love Paul Reed Smith guitars. First and foremost, the neck. It's definitely a little bit narrower than some of the other necks that I'm used to, but it's not narrow in a bad way by any means. I like it, it's comfortable. Fret ends, of course, as you would expect, are incredible. So let's take a minute and see what this thing sounds like. We'll start with the bridge pickup, the treble pickup. I've just got the tone full out, the volume full out, using this Sunzera amp here that PRS has been so kind to let me borrow for the video. And all right, so here's both pickups on, volume full out, tone full out. For the third option, just the neck pickup. I think out of the three, my favorite, initially I thought it was gonna be both pickups on. But there's something really interesting happening with this neck pickup. Almost seems like it's hotter. Could be my imagination just with more bottom end coming out of it, but I feel like it's actually got some more kicks, more output to it. Do some research on that, and you can tell me in the comments below if you happen to know something I don't. If we go to the body of the guitar, this is where things get really, really interesting. Of course, we've got all the electronics to talk about in a second, but the shape of this body is definitely more modern than the guitar that inspired it. It has a very comfortable carve on the back. It's got the arm carve, so it's got that, you know, silver sky sort of ergonomic thing going on to it, which I like. It's not crazy heavy. Actually, I was kind of surprised at how light it felt when I picked it up. Still feels relatively balanced, but the body itself is definitely not like real chunky and uncomfortable and angular. Still looks great head on. You can't really tell that it has all this contouring in it, but when you play it, you can absolutely feel the comfort that provides. The finish on this, the dog hair finish, is really, really incredible. And as with like pretty much every Paul Reed Smith guitar that I've ever picked up that I've seen pictures of previously, the pictures, while are amazing, and they do a great job with the pictures, they can never quite do the finish justice. These finishes are just incredible to see in person. Their finishes, I think, are kind of like second to none. I mean, I think it'd be tough to find another company that can finish a guitar in the way that PRS does, and this is unlike anything I've seen before in person. So I think the thing that struck me the most about this guitar after I picked it up was the simplicity of the controls. A lot of PRS guitars have tons of switches. There's push, pull, different toggle switches. This kind of stays true to your two pickup style guitar. Now these pickups are technically narrow field, hence the NF in the name, humbucking pickups, but they don't sound quite like you would expect a humbucker to sound. Obviously they have lower hum, but they have this like really interesting depth and clarity to them that maybe you wouldn't associate with a traditional humbucker, but that you would associate with a 2 pickup T-style guitar. And back to the controls and the simplicity, you've got volume, you've got tone, and you've got a 3-way switch. There's no push-pull, there's nothing like that on this guitar. It's very straightforward and very simple, and I like that a lot. Because like I said, sometimes some of the guitars that they make have just so many different sonic options that it's almost like overwhelming to pick one. Here, you've got your basics covered, and I think it just kind of gets out of the way and allows you to play and just enjoy the instrument and what it can do, because it has a thing that it does, but it's not going to be, you know, everything to everyone. It's versatile, but it's got a specific thing that it's going for. The other thing that's really cool about this guitar is both the pickups are actually mounted right to the body themselves. This pick guard is just there to guard the body and be part of the aesthetic of the guitar. So, you know, with a Strat or a Silver Sky, you've got pickups that are mounted to the pick guard. Even some Teles are like that, most Teles, for at least one of the pickups. In this case, though, directly mounted to the body, and the pick guard is just there for looks, essentially, and to prevent you from wearing a hole through the front of your guitar. But it's a winner. It's really cool. Now, it's expensive. It's expensive. I think that is, you know, probably something that people are going to go after as far as a critique. However, a lot of PRS guitars are expensive. That to me is not a criticism. You know, it is what it is. Guitars cost money. Certain guitars cost more money. There are cheaper options. There are cheaper PRS options. So for me, you know, the discussion of is it worth it is a pointless discussion. That is all relative, and it just depends on individual person, their means, their situation, and what they're looking for. When it comes to the guitar itself, this thing is really, really, really neat. I think, again, you have to take a look at this guitar in a vacuum, in my opinion. If you want a Telecaster, then go check out a Telecaster. However, if you're going down that road, I think it's worth taking a look at this. This is a really, really interesting take on that style of guitar. Does it aim to be an exact replica? No, of course not. Obviously, this thing has got so many drastic differences between your classic solid body, 2 pickup, twangy guitar. It's not trying to be that. It's inspired by that, but it's not trying to be that. So I think that's what people need to remember about these guitars before they get all up in arms about what it is or isn't. Look at it just as it is. And if you can do that, you know, this and the Miles Kennedy guitar are just really, really unique and interesting additions to the whole lineup. But overall, I'm really impressed by this. You know, as with anything, I mean, you gotta go get your hands on it and play it. I mean, you can look at pictures all day long, watch these videos, but you're never really gonna get that full experience unless you were holding one and playing it. They're just good. They are good. You have to admit that. Even if you're not a fan, clearly I am a fan of their guitars. But even if I wasn't, I would have to give them props for just the quality and feel and just the really, really, really great product that they put out. Whether or not it's for you, that's up to you. But you really can't deny what goes into these things. So I don't think it's as controversial as everybody makes it out to be. Just let it exist on its own. And I think everyone will be happy, including those of you who end up picking one of these up.